So I'm kind of on a roll today, and usually I space these out, but some energy is really kicked in, and I'm just going with it. I'm just going with it and recording like a maniac. So I'll just carry forward from my near-death experience, and this will be part 3. As I mentioned in part 2, many things happened in the hospital after I was back in my physical body. Certainly one of the first things was this awareness that something had changed, not, remembering not having this experience of seeing dead people or talking to dead people and seeing molecules and walls move, and now having all of that was certainly a big shift. Questioning my own self, have I damaged my brain? Am I insane? And listening to the guidance around me, which is saying, tell them you're okay. And then, of course, the euphoria that I'm alive and that this is all beautiful and that we should all skip through life joyously. All of this is happening simultaneously. I was like a nerve ending that was completely exposed, and all of the stimulation was happening. Kind of a ping pong ball effect, really, of the energy. And as I'm laying in this emergency room waiting to be given my own room and under observation, they kept the curtain open, of course, because I was still under suicide watch. And so I'm taking in all of the stuff that's going on in the emergency room, and I'm sure those of you who have had an experience in the emergency room and know that it's very busy and there's lots of hustling and bustling going on. My first angel experience was in the emergency room. I'm laying on this stretcher, and I'm propped up a little bit with a few pillows, and I'm just sitting there, again, like a nerve ending, exposed to all this experience, like a newborn baby, really. And this girl is brought in a wheelchair, and her body is just flopping. She's flopping all over, and I can tell that she's intoxicated, but it didn't feel like alcohol. It was abnormal to me, and I've never experienced drugs. I've never taken a drug other than the ones I took to kill myself, which were antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, and sleeping pills. I've never taken a hallucinogenic. I've never used marijuana. I've never done any of those drugs. So I just knew that something was off, and it wasn't alcohol, but she was definitely having some floppy, crazy things going on. The man that brought her in was her boyfriend, and he's speaking to the nurse behind the counter, and he's angry, and he's exclaiming that he had gone to work, and she had met up with these friends that he didn't approve of, and taken something, and he suspected that she had taken some form of an acid. So I'm listening to this, and I'm watching her, and I'm observing all of it, and in an instant, while he's conversing with the nurse, and neither one of them are paying attention to her flopping around in the wheelchair, she gets up and she locks eyes with me. And she goes completely straight, walks completely straight, no floppiness, no erratic behavior that was going on before, intensely looking into my eyes, walks straight to me, looks right into my eyes, and says, "I see you." And then in that instant, she just flopped on top of me in the gurney. And at this stage, they took notice that she was up and she wasn't in the chair anymore, and they come rushing over and start pulling her away, and she begins to vomit. She was very sick. All of this happens over my body. In an instant, she was lucid. All of that I saw in her was gone. She connected with me and she said, "I see you." And I knew in that moment it was not her there. What has happened to me in this experience is all of my senses were awakened. I don't care what you call it. I don't care if you refer to me as psychic. I don't really care. I have no attachment to what other people think of me in this experience. The only thing that has kept me from telling my story sooner is that I have a young boy who did not know that his mother killed herself. It's taken me 4 years to really work through that and come to grips with the fact that, like everyone else, he scripted this. His soul chose me as his mother, just as I chose him as my son. And any shame in what I chose to do in this story of Kelly is ridiculous. And by holding shame and not sharing my truth, I am in effect saying that this is a sin, that what I did was wrong. I certainly do not want anyone to go out there and hurt themselves. I certainly do not wish anyone to commit suicide to try and tap into some psychic ability. That is no intention of mine by sharing this story. In fact, quite the opposite. My senses were awakened, and all of a sudden, all of the senses that I was gifted in this physical body, that you are also gifted, were awakened. Clairvoyance, clairseeing, clairaudience, clairhearing, clairsentience, clairknowing or feeling. Empathy, like nobody's business. I've listened to other people speak about this, and I've listened to gurus talk about this, and one of the things that seems to be a common theme that I hold to here is that if this is arising in my experience of now, I'm going to love it. I could resist this. I could hide this part of myself, try to be something that I'm not, try to put a label on it that doesn't exist. The reality in this moment of now, which is our only truth, is that this is here until it's not. Others may not have this experience, and that's okay. It doesn't lessen it for myself. There is this stigma in life around people who have psychic abilities or powers, I've heard them called. In fact, when people come to see me, they often have this preconceived conception of what I'm going to look like. Am I going to have a magic ball, and am I going to pull out tarot cards, and is my house going to look new agey? And I am a soccer mom. I am a corporate worker. I am a community member. I am no different than anyone else. I have superior high integrity about what I do. I hold myself the most accountable for anything that I tell anyone. This is not about trying to be special. This is not about trying to be something that other people aren't. This is about sharing my truth in this now moment. I could wake up tomorrow and all this could be gone, and that too would be perfect. There's no past, present, or future. There's only now. And in this now moment, as I'm talking to you, this is my experience. It's not a curse. It's not a gift. It's just here. Like anything else, if it arrives, I'm going to love it. Otherwise, I'm resisting, and that's my own pain. So that is the story of the first angel on my experience of hospital stay. I finally did get a room, and I'll share that in other videos. It was the middle of the night, and I was finally moved to a ward, not knowing where I was going. I met 2 other angels on that journey, and again, I'll share those in other videos. But I think what it all boils down to is life is beautiful. It's a gift. It is to be held with joy. It is to be experienced with joy. And whatever is arising in this moment, whether it be a drug-addicted person who's stumbling towards you, or a homeless person who's reaching out their hand, when you look in their eyes, you will only ever see you, because that's all that's ever been there. I see you. Until next time.